Today's pet peeve. Those of you who speak English, those of you who know me, know that I'm a stickler for details. Because quite frankly, like you've heard all the sayings, the devil's in the details. If you take care of the small things, there won't be any big things, so on and so forth. It's all true. There's a reason that professions that have a short time lag from when something's said to when something has to happen use fairly precise communications. And that's because everyone knows what's going on. If I say something, for example, sailing. Sailing has its own language, all right? It really does. And I'm not talking about being a sailor in the Navy, which also has its own language. I'm talking about sailing on sailing vessels. If I say, let fly, everyone knows what I mean. Who's actually been trained on how to sail. All right? If I say, reef that, they know what I'm saying. They know what I'm saying. And so on. Why? Why? Because it's a short time lag. If I say on a sail ship, boom ho, everybody knows to not ask questions. They need to duck. All right? Or jibe ho. Same thing. So, with all that being said, this is my friend, the Ferro rod, or the Ferrocerium rod. I was just watching YouTube, and a well-known bushcrafter, outside guy, survival guy, called this a flint and steel, which it is not. This is a Ferrocerium rod. Ferro rod for short. We like saying Ferro rod. We like shortening things. All right. This particular rod came from Lester River Bushcraft. All right. They sent it to me when I custom ordered a anorak. This is not, and I repeat, not. All right. Ferrocerium, first of all, it's a combination of alloys and things that are pyrophoric, which means when I scrape this off here and I've got those little tiny chunks, the friction of me scraping this with something to tear that stuff off of there is what causes that pyrophoric reaction. In other words, they ignite when they're in contact with the air, with the combination of the friction of being removed from here. It only takes about 180 degrees worth of power, all right, temperature-wise. 180 degrees is what you're generating roughly when you're doing the friction on here. And that causes this to ignite, and these little combination of alloys and so on and so forth that are in here, they burn at somewhere between 2,800 or 2,200 according to what you read, and 5,500 according to what the composition of the rod is. You have rods that are soft, you have rods that are hard. In other words, it's easier to get material off, but they wear down faster, or it's harder to get material off and you last a lot longer. There's also another rod called a mish metal rod. All right, they're not common at all, but it's basically the same idea. It's a combination of stuff in here that I use some kind of friction to remove material on here, and the combination of that friction and exposure to the air, those little tiny things, they ignite. All right, that's what we got going on here. It bugs me when people say stupid stuff like, this is flint and steel. It's not flint and steel. In fact, there's no steel in this rod. There's iron, which is pre-steel. All right, but there's no steel in this rod. So it is not flint and steel. It is not a flint stick. There is no flint in this. No chert, no rocks, none of that kind of stuff that you would normally associate with flint and steel. There's a lot of things it's not. It's not a fire steel. It's not a flint. It's not a flint stick. It's not a fire. It's not a flint and steel. It's none of that. It's none of those things. It's a ferro rod. Ferrocerium. Call it what it is. Have a nice day. No, I'm not going to carry any of these just for sale today or anytime soon. Like, view, and subscribe.